Look, I get it. You are really nice. You feel way too guilty to ever put yourself first. But you are watching this video because you are sick and tired of getting walked all over, feeling neglected, while watching those mean girls always have their way. Hey guys, welcome back to my channel. So today we're going to talk about how to stop people pleasing and becoming the mean girl, the baddie, the girl that everyone respects and the guys chase, and you have your way at work, with your family, with friends. Your life is going to change after you watch this video. The treatment you're going to have is going to be so different from what you're used to. And I'm glad you finally come to realization that being the nice girl in this world does not work. So keep watching, please like and subscribe, and let's get in. If you're still wondering, well, how do I know if I'm too nice? Ask yourself this. Have you ever felt like you've been walked all over by someone, whether that was a boyfriend, your girlfriends, your family members, people at work? Do you often feel like you're unappreciated or taken advantage of? Do you feel like you're always there for other people, but no one's really there for you? If you answer yes to any of these questions, chances are you've been way too nice. What happens is when you're too nice, people take you for granted. They think you're that one person that they can use to get whatever they want from because, well, with other people, it's not as easy, right? And that thing they want can be so many different things. It can be energy, an ego boost, a mother figure, sex, money, and so on. People smell nice people like you and they end up preying on them. And they don't even mean to do it. They just can't help it. And the problem is you're so used to people pleasing and putting others before you, meaning that instead of being a selfish person, you're more concerned with pleasing other people and worrying about their feelings. And the thing is, most people don't even realize that they've been people pleasing until they've come to that realization, and they're usually shocked when they do. And this realization usually doesn't even come until something so drastic happened, where they've been so stepped on. Like, let's say the person completely lost respect for them, starts talking down to them, or in some horrible cases, the man in the relationship just isn't even attracted to the woman anymore. He stops initiating things with her. And in even extreme cases, there's cheating. And a lot of women really take a step back and they're like, oh my God, I can't even believe that I allowed this person to treat me like this for so long. And I've been, running through hoops trying to please them. And it's not a good feeling, but don't worry if this is where you're at with someone, whether that is a coworker, a boyfriend, friends, even family members, this is reversible. But before we get into reversing the problem and finding the solutions, I want you to figure out the problem, the root cause of why you did this people pleasing, why you got here in the first place. It is very important to know this because if we do, we are able to watch ourselves when we do it and ensure that this problem is not continual, right? And there can be many reasons as to why you became a people pleaser. For instance, it could be a learned behavior. Like for me, I grew up in a home as a Middle Eastern girl with a very giving mother, and my mother adapted that from her mom. So my grandma was also a very selfless person, and because of that, it's a generational thing that I have to break. And my mom, I grew up watching her give so much, give way too much of herself. And I'm talking like basic needs, emotional needs. She would do things when she wasn't physically or emotionally capable of doing it, but she did it anyway. And it made me grow up into thinking that it is not safe for me to put myself first. And I would feel guilty or ashamed if I ever was doing something selfish for myself. It can also be an insecurity. If you're not fully content and confident in yourself, you might feel unworthy to come before other people, or you're afraid that people won't like you unless you do the most for them. And that is an insecurity that you need to work on. Ironically, people pleasing is a turn off. It is displeasing. It is a turn off to your friends because, well, they can sense that you are so nice, you'll take anything from them, so they start treating you that way. They start feeling like, okay, well, she feels like I'm better than her. They're gonna feel like they're better than you, and they're gonna do mean things to you, like put you on hold for 20 minutes because they know you'll just wait there on the other line. And it's a turn off for the men that you're dating, especially when you've been in a relationship with someone for a while and in the beginning you gave him such a confident woman. You know, you weren't so interested in him in the beginning, so he chased you, but then throughout the time you started getting won over and you fell in love with him, and then your confidence went down. You started feeling like, oh, I need to like do this for him, or I need to win him over now. And you were scared of losing him. And now he's like, okay, well, I don't have to chase her anymore. I don't have to do anything to win her over, because he knows you're right there wanting him, wanting his energy. They sense that. And it turns off men. Men like confident women. You've heard this saying, we all have, where a woman could be a 6, but she could be so confident, and the way she carries herself is so attractive, it makes her a 10, versus a girl who is a 10 is so insecure, lacks confidence, and people pleases, and she looks like the 6, you know? It's a really big deal in your friendships and in your relationships to not have this desperate energy of, I want you in my life. Which brings me to say this: if you are always attracting relationships where you are the one who cares more than the other, you're always initiating and putting more energy and effort into the relationship, then it is time for you to look within. It's often not the people you are attracting, but the behaviors that you are pulling out of them. Sometimes you guys are just encouraging people to behave a certain way because of your insecurities and your people-pleasing habits. Let me give you an example. You are telling someone, oh, let me do this, and can I do blah, blah, blah for you? And they're like, no, it's fine. And you're like, oh, no, please, I insist. Like, are you sure? Like, can I? And then they're like, oh, okay. And then do you know what happens? They surrendered to your offerings. And then what begins to happen is they start expecting this from you. This is the new expected behavior from you. And they can expect that they can keep using you. So essentially, you're teaching them how to behave. They couldn't help it. They smelled your desperation. They subconsciously can feel like you're trying to earn their love, and then they don't want to say no. Or in other cases, it could just be you're spending time with someone that kind of forced you into that position. And what that looks like is, well, you can tell this person does not value you, and therefore you kind of have to earn their attention. You feel like you do, because it's hard for you to just walk away from someone who doesn't value you. Instead, you'll stick around and try to validate your own ego by winning them over. And being around people that don't really love you, don't care about you, is the worst thing you can do for yourself, because you're basically allowing them to lower your self-esteem. So now we can get into the reversals and solutions of this people-pleasing, desperate energy that you have. Step 1, become used to the fact that not everyone in the room is going to like you. You have to be okay with that. You need to stop caring about whether or not somebody likes you, whether or not this text you're sending to this person is gonna make them like you. You need to be your authentic self and be okay with knowing that I'm not here to please everyone. It doesn't matter, because I like me. If they don't, it doesn't do anything for me. So get used to this idea, and once you really do, you will see that when you have this attitude, once you've finally adopted this attitude of I don't care what people think about me, you are going to become the most attractive person in the room, because it is a very highly attractive quality for someone to just be so content and confident with themselves that they don't care to win someone else over. I don't have to make this person like me because I like me, and that is enough. People can sense that energy when someone is trying hard for another person's attention or affection. If you're the kind of person that has to examine a text for like 20 minutes before you send it, it's because you are still in that energy of like, I have to make them like me. Get rid of that. Become okay with it and realize that when you are yourself, the people that are meant for you are going to gravitate towards you naturally, so you don't have to try. And it is okay not to have everyone like you. No celebrity or famous person has everyone fond of them, right? There's always going to be some haters, some jealous people, and some people that just don't like you for no reason, but it doesn't matter. If someone doesn't like you, whether that's a girl or a guy, that's fine. You like you, and there's millions of other people who will like you too. Number 2, we need to remove the negative connotation of the word selfish. What is the definition of selfish, really? It is when one is concerned primarily with one's own personal profit or pleasure. It is a natural instinct to be selfish. When we were younger, as toddlers, we didn't know any better. All we knew was to look after ourselves and take care of ourselves. And then we grew up and we were conditioned, especially as women, by society, by our parents, by our teachers, that we need to be caring, nurturing, feminine woman, where we take care of other people, we clean after them, we cook for them, we do all these things for other people. And some of you really got carried away with that. And now let's face it, you are worried about others that you shouldn't be worried about. We do obviously need to have consideration and care for our loved ones, right? Especially, our children, if we have children one day, our elders, and, our partners, our loved ones. But seriously, let's be real. Some of you are taking the responsibility of people's feelings that you have no business doing so. So I want you to see that being selfish is not so bad. In fact, replace that word completely with prioritizing myself and putting my needs first, focusing on myself, things like that. And I want you to know really that putting yourself first and being concerned with your own needs and wants in life is never a bad thing. And if anyone tries to make you feel guilty or bad for it, then that person is just inconvenienced by the fact that you are no longer easily accessible to them. Number 3, learn how to say no and do not feel guilty about it. Remember, if we want to show up as our best selves, we have to pour into our own cup first. You can't pour into someone's cup when yours is empty. So you should never feel guilty about wanting to take a rest day and not go somewhere. Be assertive and say no without apologizing. It is such a common denominator for girls who have the tendency to people please and be desperate to apologize so much and say, oh, I'm sorry. It is a weakness, and apologizing, saying sorry so much only feeds your insecurities of like, I'm not worthy of like not doing something for you. So ditch I'm saying sorry to thank you, but I can't this day. How about this day? Or thank you for waiting for me. Try not to say sorry so much. And definitely try not to over-explain either. You don't need to give anyone an explanation when you say no to something. Practice doing that, and that will be a life changer in itself. If you are able to say no, don't over-explain yourself, and just don't feel guilty about it. Number 4, go into receiving mode. Practice being the receiver. Start asking people for favors. Ask them to help you with something. Just get used to asking others to do things for you. That way you get yourself out of the giver mode, the people-pleasing mode, right? Which is masculine. Being in your feminine energy, you lean back and you let people give you and you receive. And a lot of people who are people-pleasing have this insecurity where they don't feel like they are worthy to receive. So get rid of that by practicing asking others to do little things for you. Number 5, take out the trash. Ouch, that sounds really bad, but be ready to remove anyone in your life that is not serving you at all. They are not adding value to you, and you are simply just giving them all your energy and you're drained. Any one-sided relationships need to go. And I don't need to tell you which one those are, because we all know. We have our intuition. We know which ones are one-sided. Stop defending other people. Let them show up as they are, observe them, and when you realize it is time, cut them out. You should feel comfortable enough to unfollow people that you need to unfollow and stop all contact with someone who is just not really valuing you. However, if there are people in your life that are a little one-sided and are neglecting you, but you're not ready to, let's say, fully cut them off and take out the trash, fine. What you can do is at least cut off your energy from them. And what I mean by that is completely detaching verbally and with your actions. And I'm gonna make a whole nother video on detachment, because that's a very important principle that is also life-changing. But for now, what I will say is detach with your actions. And what that looks like is, if you are the kind of person that is always initiating, whether that's you're the first to greet someone, call them, completely pull back and be indifferent. Do not call them. Tell yourself that I am okay with not having this person in my life for now. I am just focusing on me. And you're not gonna anymore go out of your way to text them, call them, greet them, initiate anything with them, and then see what happens. If you're not the first one, well, someone has to initiate, right? So if they're not doing it and you're not doing it, then naturally that relationship will cut off by itself. And that might be an easier route for you to take, or they could surprise you. What happens a lot of the times when we do cut off our energy and we become aloof and indifferent is the person sees that, okay, like, I have to step up my game, and they start valuing you again and respecting you more and chasing you, earning you again. I'll give you an example. I went on a family trip with my extended family, and never in my life did I ever feel like these cousins in particular liked me. So on the trip, I found myself trying to win them over. I was doing the most, I was asking them about this and that, and I would always greet them when we ran into each other in the hotel, and I would ask them if they wanted to do lunch, and they were not into it. So one morning I woke up and I was like, F that. Why am I doing that? I'm sending the worst message to the universe that I'm not worthy and I have to earn someone's attention. So I cut that off, and I woke up one day and saw them, and I was like, I'm not gonna say hi or anything first this time. And I just kind of was in my own world. I just built my own world around me, and I let them just be there. And what happens is they start asking me, oh, how are you today? Do you want to do this? Do you want to do that? Like, sometimes it's literally that simple. And that family, those cousins, now when they see me, they are so nice to me. They only have nice things to say to me. They don't mock me anymore. So it could be really that simple, of you just completely pulling your energy back to yourself and letting the other person see what they want to do. If you're in a relationship with a man right now and you feel like you've been doing the most and they've been doing the least to put in any effort, then you can do something very similar. And I know this is going to cause a little controversy, but it is true that men respond better to actions than words. So you're more likely to get their attention by kind of pushing them back. So again, cutting off your energy, becoming indifferent, and then focusing on yourself. And then once that person realizes, hey, what's going on? Like, why aren't you all over me? That's when you can kind of say like, well, I feel like this. And that's going to get you your end result a lot better than you just kind of nagging them and feeding them more energy of like, no, I want you, like, why aren't you doing this? Like, why aren't you around me? They're not going to change because they know that you're right there waiting, wanting more, and they're more likely to make a change once you've cut them back a little bit, showed them that you don't need them, and they realize, oh, if I continue to not put any effort, I'm going to lose her. Remember guys, everyone has their needs, but the nice girl is going to be that perfect target to fulfill everyone's needs, not the bitch. The bitch is too busy fulfilling her own needs, so if anything, people realize if they want to be in her life, they have to help offer her something. Okay, my loves, thank you so much if you're still here. I love you. Please give this video a like and subscribe if you haven't already. I'm going to be making a really good video on how to detach, and I want you guys to watch it. And comment down below what you think of this video, if you have any other thing you want to contribute. I love when you guys comment, and I will see you soon. Bye.